Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to another Basic. We're back out at Bozeman High School, and I'm now joined by Bozeman High senior James Cole, going to teach me a thing or two about the shot put. James, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for interviewing me.
Well, it's great to have you, and you're one of the best competitors in the state in the shot put in the AA. Came in 4th last year at States. Now it's time for him to teach me the basics.
This is the basic stance, the power throw, and hold the shot put in your hand, put it against your neck, make sure your elbow is straight, otherwise you'll hurt yourself. And then you're going to go like bend down, and all your power that you use comes from your hips. So you're going to go like that and throw. And so it looks something like this.
I thought it'd be smart to try one of those power throws before going into the whole spin.
Nice.
Okay. Right over 20 feet then.
For the spin, you start out at the top of the ring facing this way. And in slower motion, you're going to set the hip, spin, and then throw from the power position, obviously. So faster, full speed is more like this.
All right, time for me to try that spin.
Nice.
That was even shorter than my other throw. Huh. Okay.
You had to set the hip thing down, though.
Oh, geez, that was terrible. Wow.
Slipped out of the hand.
Yeah, it did.
There you go. Improvement.
Better. Probably not going to do much better without a lot more practice. Well, I'm clearly not the biggest guy, so I'm not going to do the best in this event. James not the biggest guy either in this event, though, but he makes up for it with his strength and especially his technique. That'll do it for another Basics. Alongside James Cole at Bozeman High School, I'm Dave Griffiths.
And now you know the basics.
The Olympic sport of shot put seems simple enough. A burly guy picks up a 16-pound iron ball, takes a whirl, and then heaves the thing as far as he can.
Go! Go, baby!
Impressive, but how hard can it be? I asked John Godina, a 3-time world champion and 2-time Olympic medalist, to teach me his art.
Oh man, dude, this is like the heaviest thing I think I've ever held.
It's a bowling ball. It's the same weight as a bowling ball.
This is 16 pounds, and I'm supposed to throw this 60 feet.
You're supposed to throw it 72 or 3 feet.
Wait, just looking at me right now, how far do you think I can throw this?
20. Maybe. We'll see.
All right, so that's the goal, try to get me to throw this 20 feet.
Godina now coaches at an organization he founded, the World Throws Center. He gave me some good news. Throwing is not just about raw upper body strength.
What muscles? Or
Legs.
what am I? Oh, I'm going to be throwing the legs tomorrow.
Quads, butt, calves. Your calves are going to be wrecked.
Is it mostly lower body?
Oh, yeah.
He put me through some balance and agility leg drills against one of his old teammates, John Davis. He's a big guy with at least 100 pounds of me, so I thought this would be a cinch. After building up a sweat, it was time to gear up.
You all right?
I'm fine. No, this is
Sweating
good.
pretty good there.
We have shoes for you.
This will add a couple extra feet to my throw.
Well, at least you won't break your ankle as easily.
It turns out that shot put is half ballet. These guys spend most of their time working on their footwork.
Down and up.
Godina broke down the spin into several steps, starting with the last move I'd have to do. It's a tricky move. I'd have to squat and then twist and explode onto my calves.
Up. Nice. I really came here today hoping to make fun of you, but that's really good.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
After wrapping up my wrist and chalking up, I was ready to practice a standing throw.
Elbow jacked high. Oh! Not too bad.
John Davis stepped back to put my modest successes in perspective. Then there was spinning. Finally, it was time to put everything together.
Let's just throw this thing.
I could barely hold the 16-pound ball upright, so Godina gave me the high school size, 12 pounds.
Oh! We know that as soon as you pick up a shot and try and throw it, you're going to just go completely stupid on us like you're doing. No offense. You walked through it just fine, then you went to throw and changed everything, right?
His old teammate, John Davis, threw it farther than I did. about 3 times farther, with a heavier ball. As it turns out, it's hard to think about spinning correctly and then launching something that weighs as much as a bowling ball.
Oh!
I gave it a few more attempts. But I didn't do much better.
You all right?
Finally, Godina gave up on the spin technique and taught me something similar and simpler, the glide. With this technique, I was ready to go for my personal best.
Where was it?
28-3.
Unfortunately, that was with the 8-pound ball, which is for middle schoolers. I was getting tired, so I lightened my load.
How would you grade my prospects as a potential Olympic shot put?
0. Not at all. Now, that being said, you could always become a coach.
For the Wall Street Journal, this is Stu Wu in Lafayette, California.
Rest the shot put on all 4 fingers and the thumb. The shot put should be tucked under the chin with the elbow parallel to the ground. In the rotational foot, shift your weight to your left foot. Extend your left arm toward the middle of the circle as a counterbalance. Keep your shoulders over your hips, focusing the force of the spin around the axis of your body. Pick up your right foot, but keep it close to the ground. Swing it out slightly and around, then drive straight towards the center of the ring. Lead the movement with your legs and hips to a good torqued position. Turn your right foot inward prior to landing to ensure an early pivot, and to keep your hips ahead of your upper body. As your right foot becomes the pivot foot, your left foot comes straight past the right to the position at the front of the ring. Your feet are now slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Drive up and out with your right leg. This starts the putting action. Your left arm leads across high and blocks for maximum deceleration and a solid side against which to throw. Your left leg drives up as hard as possible. The shot should leave your hand just before your left foot leaves the ground, or just after. Reversal will come automatically if both legs are driven up and the free side blocks the movement.
The key to advancing in the shot put is practicing the technique with speed. The shot put is all about power and strength. If you can't do the movements quickly, you won't build up the power to put the shot very far. I generally have my shot putters do some specific drills, practice puts, critique their technique, and do strength work. This is Andy Richardson. He's a 5-time All-American, 2-time national champion and record holder in the shot for the University of Indianapolis. And he's going to help us with the drills and the shot and the hammer. Let's do some drills. left arm block, working on transferring the mass of the body from the right leg over to the left, driving up out of the left leg. This is a great warm-up drill for gliders and for spinners to work on positions and watching the shot leave their hand at the moment of release. This is a crucial point in the throw before you move to the reverse. This is a standing throw with a reverse. The reverse should simply result from the athlete generating enough downward force out of the legs to cause their body to lift off the ground. This is not switching the feet without driving into the ground. Otherwise, the athlete will vault backwards into the ring and not drive out into the shot. The shot put is the most aggressive event in track and field. I believe the athlete should try to attain an almost altered state of aggression before competing in the shot. Emotions are one of the most powerful sources we as humans have to enhance physical performance. A meek athlete will not be able to focus his or her effort as well as an aggressive one. It's an excellent way to develop right leg drive, bring the mass of the body from the right leg over to the left, gliders and for spinners to work on positions. This is a standing throw with a reverse. The reverse should to lift off the ground. This is not switching the feet. Will vault backwards into the ring and not drive out into the shot. The shot put is the most. Emotions are one of the most powerful sources we as humans have to enhance physical performance.
With the rim resting on the last joints of your fingers. Your thumb should the fingers spread fairly evenly, while others will have the index finger. Your rear foot supports your weight and is placed in the middle of the ring at a foot heel of the rear foot. Your stance is a little wider than shoulder width. Your left arm should come across the body. Flex your rear leg. Keep the preliminary swing helps you range of motion and swing the discus as far back as possible. To generate force, while your throwing arm acts as a whip. The throwing arm drags behind your body. It should remain straight counterclockwise. Move your right leg around the other vigorously as the right leg moves to the middle of the circle. Your body will be lands in the middle of the circle. It continues to turn. Your left foot lands immediately your throwing arm.
The following drills are ones I use to enhance the components of throwing the disc. Grip and release. As you keep your arm and wrist straight, release the disc is released. In this drill, discus bowl, keep your arm straight. Avoid flexing your wrist. The discus should roll off your index finger. Executing 2 turns before throwing. If you can complete 2 complete turns. Keeping the left foot on the ground, the athlete moves the right foot through the proper positions. 1, 2, and 3 are a step-by-step approach to balance at the concentrated over the pivot leg. Being able to complete more than one pivot in a sequence can greatly enhance
Hey everybody, it's Coach Matt over here, Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Well guys, you asked for it for a long time, and we are finally starting our video series on rotational shot put drills and progressions to get through the rotational shot put. Now, just like we did for discus and just like we did for glide shot put, we are going to start at the very beginning. Now, seeing that we've had so many views and so many hits on selecting the proper discus, rim weight, and grip, we're going to do the same thing today, having to deal with your shot put. Now, here's the thing, guys. Many people, when they first start out throwing, they're using a cheapo cast iron shot put. And that's great. That's actually what I used all the way through high school and all the way through college. Now, the problem starts to stem from, and a big problem that I see, is a lot of people then, after a couple years, they pick up a track and field catalog, and they go in the track and field catalog, and they get the smallest, most expensive shot that they can find. This is not a good thing, okay? Different size shot puts exist for people with different size hands. Let me explain what I mean. This is a 4 kilo I shouldn't say girls, this is a 4 kilo cast iron shot put. It's used by a lot more than girls, masters athletes and things like that. Now, as you can see, 4 kilo shot is pretty tiny in my hand. I can barely get my pinky finger behind it. Now, most people would see a small shot, say this weighed 12 pounds, or say this weighed, this was a 16 pounder. Most people would see this and be like, wow, it's a really tiny shot, it's going to go further. That is not the case. In order to make the shot go further, you need to apply as much pressure behind that shot as you possibly can. Think of it like a tire on the road. You have more tire, the thicker tire you have, the better traction you're going to get. A skinny little tire is not going to get a lot of traction. Same thing, you want to get all of your fingers behind that shot put. If you can't apply pressure through all of your fingers, then you're not going to get as much push, and you're not going to get as much behind that shot as you actually could. So what you want to do, and your goal as a shot putter, is to find the shot put that is most comfortable in your hand. Typically that means you have to find the smallest shot put that you can, where you can still get all of your fingers behind it. That's why there are so many. Now, for a lot of people, that's going to be a turned iron or a turned steel. A little bit smaller than cast iron, but a lot bigger than like a stainless steel, which is really tiny. The only way you're going to figure this out is to try a few. All right, you go to a track meet, you see somebody that has a turned iron that's 112 millimeter. You see somebody that has a stainless steel that's 110 millimeter. You see someone that has a cast iron, which is usually like really big. You see somebody with a turned iron that's 120 millimeter, whatever it's going to be. Try them out. See what feels best in your hand. But your goal is to get all of your fingers behind it. Okay, the worst thing you can do is throw using only 2 fingers or using only 3 fingers. Comfortably, fingers spread apart, all the fingers behind it at the same time. All right? The other thing has to deal with how you put the shot in your hand. To put the shot put in your hand, you want to make a table, to show the camera this, you want to make a table out of your hand, okay? Fingers are spread evenly apart, comfortably spread. You don't want your fingers right next to each other, and you definitely don't want to grab this thing like an eagle claw, okay? You want to put the fingers right behind the shot as best that you can in a nice, comfortable, relaxed position. So you're actually holding it in your fingers with the shot put right on the ball of the hand, okay? If you do a lot of weightlifting and you use a lot of weightlifting bars, dumbbells, things like that, you probably have calluses right here on the top of the pad, right on the ball of that hand, okay? That's where you want the shot to be touching. So let me show you real quick. We have, hope you can see this, we have the shot in the hand, and we've got it right on the ball, so it's not in the palm, and it's not all the way on the fingertips. It's sitting, just like it's sitting in a little table, right in the ball of that hand. Just like you have the ball of your foot, you have the ball of a hand too. Sitting right there. Now the thumb is simply going to go on the side of the shot and just be there to support the shot put. The thumb is not going to aid at all when you finally push and flick that shot. Ball's just sitting right in the hand. So that's the first thing for today, guys, is shot put selection and how to actually hold the shot in your hand. It's amazing to me, the top level, the quality throwers that I see, especially in high school and college, guys and girls that are throwing 40 feet, guys that are throwing 50, mid-50s, that have no idea what shot to use, and they have no idea how to hold it properly in their hand and put it up against their neck. What we're going to talk about tomorrow is the difference between where you put the shot up against your neck when you do the glide, as opposed to when you do the rotation, and also selection of your shoes. A lot of times, guys, if you're starting out, you're using a beginner level shoe, something that's going to be perfect for shot and discus. You really want to get a special type of shoe when you're going to be doing any type of rotational work like the shot put or the rotational in the discus. So guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to take this nice and slow. It's the off season, so this is where you can really concentrate and buckle down and take the time to learn how to do everything properly, and it'll pay for itself in dividends at the end of the season when you've got every small niche, when you've got every small part of the throw perfectly mastered. Make sure you tell all your friends about primalatc.com, and make sure you keep sending in your questions. Right now, rotational shot is what I'm going to be focusing on, but if you have any questions, if you have anything having to do with discus or glide shot or hammer or javelin or even indoor weight, please send those questions in to me. I'll get them answered as soon as possible. Thanks. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Coach Matt over here, Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Well, it's the end of another busy day here at Primal. Just got done, saw about 20 athletes today. 10 of them, 11 of them were throwers. So we're in our off season. We're doing our off season training. Today was the first week of off season training. Do have a few guys going down to Nationals for the hammer on Thursday. Had a bunch of people at New England's this past Saturday. So right now is when we're starting off-season training. Perfect for two things. Number one, if you have signed up to our newsletter, which you see on Primal ATC on the right, totally free newsletter. The past 2 weeks we've been sending you off-season training sessions. 3 off-season training days for free every single week, along with ideas for throwing protocol that you can take out onto the circle. So you want to sign up for that. It's the same training that we're doing in here with our athletes and with our throwers. So it's the same thing that you can do at home, just like having me at home telling you exactly what to do, what percentages of weight to do, how many reps, how many sets. It's all written down for you. You don't even have to think. Second thing it's great to do is to start getting more into our rotational shot put technique video series. Okay, if you saw the first 2 videos, we talked about how the shot goes in the hand, and we talked about how to put it up against the neck and the right type of shoes for you to wear. Today we're going to get actually into the technique starting in the back of the circle. Now, if you checked out our glide shot put video series, what you'll notice is that we're not going to be doing anything involving the standing throw or proper power position or placement of the feet in the power position or how to work from the ground up from the ankle to the knee to the hip to finishing that throw. It's all the same that you're going to see in discus and in the glide shot put. The other reason why we're not going to start with that is because for probably 99% of coaches out there, when they're first starting out with a new athlete, they teach the standing throw first. Once the standing throw or that power position throw is taught first, then you're going to move into the glide technique. Once the glide technique is mastered and you have someone who's really great at the glide, that's typically when we're going to show someone how to rotate. And then, of course, in college, a lot of guys rotate, but that's because they have the fundamentals normally of doing the glide when they're in high school. So for that reason today, just like a college coach would do. I'm not going to teach you the basic, the fundamental stuff. Now, if you don't have the background of the power position or of the glide shot before doing this, very simple. Go to primalatc.com, check out our videos page, and you can go through the video of the glide shot put. It starts out with the power position, starts out with proper footwork and placement, working from the ground up, all that basic stuff. But here, it's pretty much understood that you've got the basics down pat, and we need to get right into the meat of what makes the rotational such a great way of throwing. So we're going to start in the back of the circle. In the back of the circle, again, we're going to be throwing so that the sector is actually behind me. So the guy marking is behind me, and you are basically the audience. You're the people that are watching the shot put happen. In the back of the circle, you want to start by putting your feet in a nice athletic ready position. Now, how do you find a nice athletic ready position? Well, it's simple. Take a few little starter steps and pretend like you're going to jump as high as you can in the air. So you're going to jump as high as you can. You're not going to go up, but you're going to set those feet. So you think, okay, it's a little bit wider than shoulder width. Let me try it again. Okay, that's, again, a little bit wider than shoulder width. So I know that for me, I generate the most power, and I'm the most balanced and in the most ready athletic position with my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Okay, now that we figured that out, we have to talk about getting down in position to get you ready to throw. To get you in the ready position to throw, we're going to work on three things that we're going to cover over the next couple days. That's getting low, getting left, and getting long. Very similar to what happens in the discus. Today we're going to talk about getting low. Getting low means that you are in an athletic ready position. Just like you're going to jump, just like you're going to defend somebody. If you're playing football, you've got your hands just slightly touching the knees, your butt is sticking out, you're in that athletic ready position. Your hamstrings are loaded, you're getting ready to explode, you're getting ready to pop, you're getting ready to jump. That's where we want to be in the start of the rotational shot. I like to have my athletes not all the way bent over and not totally straight. I like to have it just like they're squatting. They've got a little bit of a forward lean, the chest is up, the shoulders are back, and they've got a little bit of bounce to their legs. Now what you want to do, as you put the shot up, you want to have the shot, again, under the ear like we showed you in the past video, and you want the hand right here in front of you, right in between your two legs. This is important. Okay, this goes into the rest of the throw, keeping the weight back and letting the legs accelerate in front. Something we're going to talk about in the next couple days. But for today, you just want to get comfortable, shot up against the neck, athletic ready position, okay, just like you're going to get ready to jump, or just like you're going to get ready to defend somebody in basketball or football, or field or ground ball if you're an infielder who plays baseball. Nice ready position, you're sitting back. Okay, the weight is in the hamstrings, the weight is not in the quads, the knees are not in front of the toes, you're just in a nice athletic ready position, relaxed arm, and you're going to get low. Okay, so get used to that position, get used to feeling the hamstrings load, and get used to feeling that bounce in the back of the circle. That's your video tip for today, guys. Check in tomorrow, we're going to talk about getting over the left leg, what your upper body should be doing as you're getting the weight and shifting the weight onto that left leg. Got a pretty cool trick for you to try out as well to make sure you're getting that weight over that left side. Guys, thanks so much for checking out these videos. Make sure you let your friends and your teammates know. Make sure if you're a coach, you let your other coaching colleagues know about primalatc.com. Sign up for our free newsletter. Okay, when you sign up for the free newsletter, you get every Sunday totally free tips, tricks, lifting, throwing protocols, everything you need to become a better thrower and to really excel in your sport next season. Thanks. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, 101 Comstock Parkway, Cranston, Rhode Island. Coming to you with another one of our shot put faults and corrections video. Today's video we're actually going to teach you guys how to cheat. Now, we're not talking cheating like substituting a 10-pound shot, instead of using a 12-pound shot, or using an 8-pound shot instead of the 4 kilo, like we've been known to happen in a couple of track meets from here or there. We're talking about cheating when it comes to getting your body moving, kind of already letting your body get into position before you put all your power behind it. Alright, now today's Wednesday. The weather outside today was horrible. Snow, rain, sleet. School was canceled, which means that there was no practice tonight for almost every school in the state. Well, last night was Tuesday. Tuesday night it started snowing. Schools got out early. There were supposed to be track meets last night, the last couple of big varsity meets of the year before the division meets and the JV and the freshmen and the state championships that are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Those meets got canceled too. So for a lot of people that was a last chance qualifier to get them to the state championship, or for them to get an additional mark, or get inside of that new indoor track next to Central High School, get used to the track and get used to the circles and the throwing equipment that they're going to use. Well, that makes perfect sense because Providence closed down, the schools closed down. What are you going to do? You can't have your track meets. Another opportunity lost. But we have a great opportunity for you guys this Saturday, just a few days away, February 6th from 1 to 2:30, and the Saturday after that, February 13th from 1 to 2:30. Great opportunity for all the throwers in the state to come to the new indoor track next to Central High School to get an hour and a half of completely free coaching by me in the shot put. After we're done with the hour and a half of shot put, we're going to move over to weight, do some throwing in the weight circle too. Completely free, chance for you guys to get out of this horrible weather, to actually get a day of practice inside of a nice dry facility, and to get some great coaching at the same time. We hope to see you all there. Now on to today's video. Like I said, we're going to be teaching you guys how to cheat today. And when I talk about cheating, I'm not talking about doing anything bad to get an advantage with messing with the equipment or anything like that. When we talk about cheating, we're talking about some of Isaac Newton's rules of motion. Now, picture yourself, you're walking down the street, you're driving down the street, and you see one of your friends pushing his car. The car's completely dead, battery's dead, it's out of gas, whatever the case is. The car's already moving. And the car's already moving, he's already pushing it, and you run up behind him and you give the car a push as well. Well, because the car's already moving, it's a lot easier for you to push it. It's not at a dead stop. Now, what if the car was at a completely dead stop and your friend was inside sitting in the driver's seat and you tried to push that car from a dead stop? It's going to be a heck of a lot harder to push because the car is at rest. The car is sitting still. You've got a huge amount of weight that's just sitting there. It's dead. So it's going to be real hard for you guys to push. That same concept carries over to the back of the shot circle when you're starting out in that glide position. Let me show you what I mean. You're in the back of the circle. You're in the glide position. You're ready to glide into the standing throw. You're ready to glide into that proper power position that we talked about in the first 4 videos. Okay? Now we're going to try to explode out of the back and get into that power position. Well, for a lot of people, that means getting their weight over the right foot like it should be, getting low on that leg, and making sure, picking up that foot, making sure all the weight is over. All right. Now, from this position, our body is stalled. Our body is in basically a dead stop. It's not moving. All of our weight is forward. And our goal is to get all that weight that's in front of our leg moving backwards as fast as humanly possible. It's not an easy task. All of our weight is one way, and we need that weight to move in the completely opposite direction. Let me show you guys how you can cheat and make this a lot easier on yourselves. When we're in the back of the circle, we're in that position, we're getting ready to glide. Good posture, we're low on that leg. Okay, we check, we make sure the weight's over the leg by picking up this back foot, which it is. Now, one time, we're going to bring that leg in. as we bring the leg in, watch what I do. My butt drops a little bit. So you can see my hips are starting here, and as that leg comes in, my butt starts to drop. Well, as my butt starts to drop, what happens? I start to fall backwards. If I were to wait and not bring that leg back out again, we'd start here. My butt would come in, my butt would drop, foot comes in, and I fall backwards. Well, that's a great way for you guys, just like that car that's a lot easier to push when it's already moving. That's a great way to get your body moving backwards, so it's a lot easier for you to explode out of the back of the circle and land in that proper power position. Now, the second part of this has to deal with what part of the foot you push off of. Everybody stand up and do this test for me. Do a squat, body weight squat. Feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, toes pointed out a little bit, feet completely flat on the ground. Shoulders are back. You're going to sit down, squat, and stand back up. When you stand back up, you're pushing through your heels. Why is that? Well, the heels are real close to the ankle joint. And to push properly, you want to push right through the heels. You would never get up on your toes and try to push through the toes. Well, why is that? As you can see, I can't, if I'm up on my toes, number one, it's real hard to balance, especially in throwing shoes. Number two, you can't extend your legs all the way. When you're in the back of the circle, your weight's over that foot. When you bring that left foot in and start to rock back and your butt drops, you want to explode and push off the heel. When you push off the heel, just like when you squat and you push through your heels, when you explode off the heel, you fully extend that power leg. And because you fully extend that power leg, you know that you are applying as much force as possible to get yourselves out of the back of that circle. One of the common problems I see are athletes in the back are up on their toe. And when they go to push, they try to push off their toes. But when you do that, you can't fully extend that leg. And if you're not fully extending that leg, you're not applying as much force as you possibly can to drive backwards and land in that proper power position. So that's two things that you guys can practice tomorrow if you can get out to the circle. It's definitely two things that we're going to practice on Sunday at our free clinics that are going on from 1 to 2:30 up at the new track at Central High School. Alright, this is Coach Matt from Primal signing off. Keep checking back into this YouTube channel. Keep checking into this Facebook page. We're going to do 3 of these videos every week leading up to the last free clinic. And once outdoor season starts, we're going to keep doing these videos. Once outdoor season starts, we're going to be going over discus, we're going to be going over javelin, and we're going to be doing some hammer as well as the shot put. So a lot of videos coming at you. Make sure if you're on YouTube, subscribe to this page. That way you get an email letting you know when they arrive into your inbox. Or you can just like Primal Athlete Training Center on Facebook. Just search us out. You'll see it pop right up. Hope to see you guys on Sunday. Thanks for checking us out. Hey everybody, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center. Coming to you today with video number 6. And we're still working on the shot put. Basically, what we did in the first 5 videos, we showed you some tips, some common faults and corrections in the shot put power position, discus power position. We showed you how to properly finish the shot put throw and the discus throw. And we showed you how to get out of the back of that circle, how to cheat a little bit, and how to properly push through your heel to get the most amount of force possible to get your body moving backwards in the glide position. Well, today we're sticking with shot. We're going to talk about another common fault that I see. And it's really no fault of the coaches, it's no fault of the athletes. It's just what happens if you're not using proper form. And this is a way that coaches and athletes can see if they videotape themselves, or coaches if they're just watching their kids, they can see if something's wrong with their form, if this problem is happening. Now before we get into that, we want to make sure this Sunday, just 2 days away, you throwers in the state of Rhode Island have the perfect opportunity to get out of this really cool, nasty weather we have going on outside, to get inside of a nice warm indoor facility, and get some good coaching for an hour and a half. This Sunday, February 6th, 1 to 2:30, and next Sunday, February 13th, from 1 to 2:30, at the new indoor track up at Central High School. Same place you guys are going to be having all of your big championship track meets at the end of the year. Same circle, so you can get inside that circle and get used to it. And the same equipment, the same implements that you're going to throw. So it's a great chance for you guys to get some good experience in the facility, in the circles, in the warm weather. We hope to see you there. Now, what we're going to get to today, and the reason why I'm holding this real shiny 2.5-pound plate, we have to talk about the path of the shot put. The path that that shot put goes as you're holding it against your neck and as you're releasing it out of that circle. And the way that we want to picture this is, picture yourself on a plane right now. It's freezing cold outside, and you're on a plane heading down to sunny Florida. Now you've got the window seat, and as you look out the window seat, you look down the runway, and you see the runway is real bumpy, real hilly. It's got a lot of potholes, a lot of bumps in it, and at the very end of the runway, it goes downhill. Now, I don't know about you, but I would be real nervous sitting on that plane, looking out that window, to see the runway in front of me is a short, bumpy, hilly road. Alright? If you're on a plane and you want that plane to take off, number one, you want that runway as long as possible. You want that runway as smooth as possible, and you don't want any hills or any bumps. You don't want that plane going up and down as it's trying to gain speed and take off. Well, the same holds true for the shot put. Right? When you're holding that shot put, the path of that ball should be the same as the path of that plane. You want it as long as possible, you want it as smooth as possible, and you want to accelerate just like that plane from slow to as fast as possible at the end. And the way that we correct this, and the way that we view this, is when you're in the back of the circle, you're in a low position. When you're in the middle of the circle and you're in that power position, you're at a medium height. When you're coming through, like we talked about in the first and second video, you're at a nice tall height. And when you finish, you're at your maximum height. So if you chase the path of that ball, trace the path of that ball, you can see you're starting here, 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 and then finally here in the back. So you're going from low, medium, high, heights. A nice smooth angle, a nice vertical path. Now, on to the faults and corrections. One of the most common faults that I see has to deal with not getting low in the back of the circle. What I see a lot of times is athletes standing up nice and tall, gliding, getting low, and then trying to finish nice and tall at the top. And what you see is the shot goes from high to low to high to highest. So it makes almost like a check mark. Now, imagine if you were on that plane and you looked down the runway and the runway was a check mark. I don't know about you, I wouldn't want to be on that plane taking off. The other thing that I see are the athletes who don't get low. They stay at a medium height when they're in the back of the circle. When they glide, they stay at that medium height in the middle of the circle, and then they go to their highest height. So they're going from medium to high. And while that's not as bad, that's not that check mark kind of shape or that check mark outline, because they're not starting low, their efficiency is not as good. So we want to make sure that we start low, in the back of the circle, medium in the middle of the circle, high near the finish, and the highest position at the end of the finish. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how do you do this? How do I make sure that I'm doing this correctly? If your form, if what we talked about in the first 5 videos, having your weight back over the power leg, getting low in the back of the circle, turning your feet properly, turning the hips and shoulders properly, releasing at that high point. If all that is correct, then you know that that angle is correct. If you're starting low correctly in the back, then the shot's going to be low. If you're in the middle of the circle, and the weight's back over your foot, then we know you're in the right position. If you're standing up tall, then we know that the shot is tall. And if you're finishing correctly with your body all the way forward, we know that you're finishing at your highest point. So you have to use this as a checkpoint for yourself. As you practice and as you go through your meets, your coach or you will be able to feel if you're low, medium, high, and at the highest point. Make sure the path of that shot is just like you want to see when you're on a plane. Nice and smooth and a gradual increase once they get in the air. Guys, don't forget, please subscribe to this channel on YouTube. You'll be getting 3 of these videos every week. Every day after you watch the video, the next day you can go out and practice what I talk about and improve your throws and correct any issues on a day-to-day basis. We want to make sure that you guys show up on Sunday, February 6th, and Sunday, February 13th, from 1 o'clock to 2:30 at the new indoor track at Central High School. Between the 2 days, you're going to get 3 hours of corrections and tips and coaching, just like you're receiving now. We hope to see you guys there. Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt Ellis over at Primal Athlete Training Center, Cranston, Rhode Island. Coming to you today kind of to continue what we spoke about in the last video, video number 7. Believe it or not, guys, this is the 8th video that we're doing on proper glide technique and common faults and corrections and little drills that you guys can take to practice with you or practice at home to help improve your throw. We've got one more video after this, video 9, that's going to put everything together. We have our free clinic, the second part of our free clinic happening this Sunday the 13th from 1 o'clock to 2:30. After that clinic, you guys have your state championship meets. And then once that's all taken care of, we're going to get into some other videos on things like discus, hammer, and javelin. So make sure, subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Just hit that little button right up here. Subscribe to the video. That way you'll get an email in your inbox. And whenever a new video comes out, you can just click on the link and you'll be able to check it out. And again, if there's any questions, if you guys have anything specific, maybe some problems that you might be having at practice or with the release or getting the foot underneath you, any questions you might have, please leave a comment down below in the comment box. And whatever that comment is, that's what we'll do our next video on. Alright, so make sure to stay tuned in to us here and let us know what you think and if you have any questions. Well, to continue what we talked about the other day we showed you a great drill that you can do with either a piece of tubing or a stretch band or a towel, something to resist your upper body while having the shot in your hand. You resist that upper body and then you work on getting the foot and the knee turned from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Well, today we're going to continue. I did get a few emails and some of the concerns, some of the questions had to deal with, well, Coach Matt, my feet look great, but my upper body doesn't look so good. Or the exact opposite, man, my upper body looks great, I can keep my weight back, but I have a problem turning my feet, getting my feet in the right position. So today we're going to show you 2 drills that you can do that are real easy, that are going to help you correct both the upper body on its own and the lower body on its own. So the first one, when we built our pull-up station here, we had a few leftover pipes. So we've got a 4-foot pipe here that weighs probably about 7 pounds or so, 7, 8 pounds. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that pipe on our back, and And we're going to, just like we were using a bar for squats, and this is going to help keep our shoulders nice and square. If our shoulders start to dip when we're gliding, we're going to feel it because it's going to pull on the other side. Now you don't have to use a pipe. You can use a broomstick, a mop handle, you can use a broken high jump or pole vault crossbar. You can use an old javelin that you might have in the shed. Anything, a long piece of wood, a long pipe, anything that you guys have, you can use. So go through that shed, in your track team shed where you keep all the shots and the discus, grab just a broken pipe or grab whatever might be in there, and you can do this drill. Now what it looks like is we're going to have the pipe, or we're going to have the bar on our backs. We're going to get down in that glide position, making sure that our posture is correct, making sure that the weight's over the front foot. And we're just going to glide backwards, and we're going to keep our shoulders nice and square. Now, as we do this, if our shoulders move, or if we start to advance the upper body, we're going to feel it because it's going to pull on the other side. So check this out. If I were to open up too quickly with my shoulders, I can feel it. It's actually that lever is tugging my body, and it doesn't feel good. The same thing, if my left shoulder dips too much, it's really going to pull me off balance. And where you're feeling it is right here on the sides, okay, right in the hips, and also right underneath the armpit. You're actually stretching out that shoulder. So if it feels wrong, or if it feels like you're getting stretched out, you know that your shoulders aren't square. Now what we're going to do, we're going to turn the camera around to another part of the gym. We're going to show you guys another drill that you can do using just a piece of fence or whatever you might have lying around near your shot circle to improve the lower body without having to focus that much on the upper body. Okay everyone, first of all, sorry about the goofy camera angle, but I really wanted to position the camera in a way so that you guys will be able to get the full shot of my body, all the way from my non-throwing foot that's going to be all the way back here, all the way to my upper body that's going to be holding onto this bar. Now what we've done is we've taken our squat rack here, and we've actually taken these clips, the J-cups that hold the bar, and we've dropped it about halfway. When I stand up, it's going to be right at my midsection, right between my bottom of my chest and my belly button. So it's going to be right here in the midsection. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to hold on to this bar with our hands. And the bar is actually going to be used to catch the weight of our upper body. And we're really going to exaggerate turning that foot and getting that foot all the way back underneath this. What you're going to see is if I were to let go of the bar, I'd actually go crashing forward. I'd go crashing right into the wall behind here. All of my weight's going to be that far back, and my power foot's going to be that far underneath me. So by exaggerating the movement, by showing our body what it feels like to do this the really, really, really hard way, doing it the proper way, using putting our foot in the right spot during the proper power position is going to be easy for us. Now, if you don't have a setup like this at home, or if you don't have an option of using a setup like this at your school, there's a few things that you can do. You can certainly use a piece of chain link fence. If there's an open portion of chain link fence by your track or by your throwing circle, just put your fingers in the chain link fence and hold on that way. The other day we actually used a small indoor soccer goal. It could have even been an indoor field hockey goal that was just laying around in the gym, and we were able to hold on to the top of that goal. We've also seen athletes who can use the bleachers. They put their fingers, when the bleachers are closed, right in between the bleachers, and they hang on that way. So there's a few things that you can do to really use this movement and to be able to use this to your advantage and teach your body what it feels like to do this the hard way, and then to do it the proper way. It's going to feel nice and easy. Alright, so here's what it looks like. We're going to start out, our upper body's going to be nice and loose. Okay, remember, this drill focuses solely on the lower body. The upper body just hangs out for the ride. So, we're going to start in a little mini glide position, and our posture is not going to be perfect, but little mini glide position. We're going to pull the foot in, the butt's going to drop just like normal, and we're going to land with our foot all the way back. and turn toward 9 o'clock. Now you see this awkward position. If I were to let go right now, I'd go crashing into the wall. This bar is actually holding all of my weight. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. We're going to do about 5 or 6 in a row just to give our body and our leg that feeling of that really awkward, difficult position. It looks like this. And again, we're focusing on a few things. The first thing we're focusing on is getting that knee and getting that foot of the power leg turned and cranked over all the way to 9 o'clock. The other thing that we're focusing on is the non-power leg is up on that toe. Okay? And by keeping those two positions and by doing that properly, it really exaggerates. You're going to feel a heck of a stretch. It's actually tough. It's difficult for your body to get in that proper position because it's so awkward. Once we do about 5 or 6 of those in a row, and we give our body the idea of what it feels like to do it the hard way, well, we're going to go back to doing it the regular way, like we would do if we were actually throwing the shot put. And the proper way, that regular way, well, now it's going to feel real easy. Now it's going to be a real good habit, and your body's going to want to do it that way rather than the real tough way. So again, we stand back up, and we just put our foot where we normally want to be. And now by doing this drill, it shows us what it feels like to have the weight back, but to still be balanced over that right foot. If I were to let go of the bar doing this the proper way, all of my weight would be back, but I wouldn't go crashing into the wall. So it's a great way to find that little bit of a balance point to help you as you land in that power position, to keep as much weight back over the power leg as possible, but in doing so, not so far back that you're going to fall backwards and land in the circle. Alright, now, again, to everybody who showed up last Sunday, the 6th, at the new track at Central High School, I really do applaud it. It's fantastic that you were able to sacrifice the time and take the time to come out and to learn some new techniques and to learn some new drills and to get some things that you can practice out in the circle during the week before your championship meets. That's what separates just your average thrower from a championship caliber thrower, is that willingness to learn and the willingness to give up your own time to really make yourself better. We're doing it again this Sunday, February 13th, from 1 o'clock to 2:30. Still going to be at the new indoor track up at Central High School. We're meeting right in the infield, right at the Shotput circle. So we hope to see you all there. Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt Ellis over here at Primal Athlete Training Center in Cranston, Rhode Island. Coming to you today with video 9. Believe it or not, we're on our 9th video having to do with proper form and technique with the glide shot put. In the previous 8 videos, we've shown you every tip and trick, every fault and correction that's pretty common with your average high school and even your above average high school throwers. Everything from the position of the left leg, position of the right leg, the way your feet turn, little tips to help you come out of the back of the circle. We covered a lot of things. Well, today, video 9, now that we're finishing up, now that we've shown you all the different parts of what makes a good glide technique or what makes a good glide throw, now we're going to show you everything kind of put together. We're going to throw all the different parts together, and we're going to show you a proper glide technique, a proper throw with the glide shot put. Now, please remember, guys, this will be the last time you hear me say it, because this Sunday from 1 o'clock to 2:30, we're having our free shot put clinic at Central High School at the new indoor track. Now, the class championships happened yesterday, and there's some more class, I believe class A and B are happening tonight. So the only thing left after this are the JV state championships, which are next week, and the varsity state championships. So we're really getting down to the end of the season, and we want to make sure that we can get out to as many athletes as possible to get that last minute, that last brush up, that last touch up before the big championship meets, and hopefully correct or help improve you that extra couple inches that you'll need to excel and to get to that next level. Maybe jump up a few more spots or place a little bit higher to help out your team. So the way it's going to work today, I'm going to show you 3 different glides. The first one is going to be kind of like a robotic step-by-step glide of what you should be looking for and checking for as you go from the back to the front. The second is going to be a stop glide, where we're going to be gliding out of the back. We're going to smooth it out a little bit, kind of start to put some things all as one. You're going to glide out of the back, stop in the middle, check yourself, and then finish. And the third glide is going to be the full throw, probably about 75–80% of the normal speed, just so you guys can get a good idea of what it looks like. All right, so the first one we're going to do today is that robotic kind of glide. Here's what it looks like. When you get in the circle, now you can see the kettlebells here are about 7 feet long, so I use this as my throwing circle. When you get in the circle, you've got the shot up against your neck, feet are together, and you're going to take your left leg and go all the way back. You want to look for good posture. I want to see the shoulders rounded over. Good, nice flat back, straight back. And as you can tell, my head is just about in line with where the blue and the white of the wall meet. Now follow my head. It's got to go from there to about here to about there. You're going to be able to follow the path of that shot put by watching my head. So keep track of that. So you're down, you're in a good position, good posture. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in the foot. The butt will drop. We're going to explode off the right heel and fully extend the leg and explode back. Now, we land in the middle of the circle. Our foot is turned toward you. Our knee is turned toward you. And we're up on the left toe. We check to make sure we can pick up the back leg, which means all of our weight is over the front. Then we turn the feet, turn the knee, extend the knee, squeeze the butt to pop the hips up, and finally pull in with the left and finish with the right. So you should see a bunch of different portions, a bunch of different pieces of this throw, all broken down part by part. So if there's a part that maybe doesn't feel right to you, you can go back and watch it and just see what I'm doing. Maybe you can help yourself out at practice. Now we're going to move on to that stop glide. We're going to put a bunch of things together. First, we're going to bring the foot in, drop the butt, explode off the right leg, land in the power position. Then, once we're in the power position, we're going to start speeding things up. We're going to do feet and knee, hip and butt, explode. So here's what that looks like. This is something you can do at practice to make sure that you've got your weight all the way over the right side and your left foot and left leg nice and straight. So it looks like this. Glide position. Stop glide. Is my weight over the foot? Yes, it is. Turn the feet and go. Final thing we're going to show you is the full glide. Now we're going to show you at about 75–80% of full speed. And here's what the full glide looks like. We're going to bring the leg in, butt's going to drop, we're going to explode back, turn the feet, we're going to be airborne for a little bit in the middle, we're going to turn the foot. As soon as the foot lands, we're going to twist the right foot, knee, hip, explode. So we're going to put it all together at about 75% speed. Watch this. Now what you guys should have seen, if you put that in slow-mo, go frame by frame, explode back, landing with the weight back, turning the foot, exploding forward. Hips are all the way forward, we're exploding forward. You should also see the path of my head went from low, right around this area, to medium, to high, and then the shot, my hand, finished up and went to the highest point. A nice gradual angle of release from low, medium, high, highest at the end. So those are some things that you guys can watch out for. Please keep coming back to this video, check it out. If there's any part of the throw that doesn't feel right to you, go back to our previous 8 videos. They're all broken down from the finish of the throw all the way back to the start of the throw. So you guys can see exactly what you might be doing wrong and take those corrections out to the circle with you tomorrow and help improve your throw. Don't forget, this weekend, 1 o'clock to 2:30, Sunday, February 13th, the new indoor track at Central High School. It's an hour and a half of great coaching, help you guys get a little bit of a tune-up before the big championship meets at the end of the year. Hope to see you there. Hey everyone, this is Coach Matt Ellis from Primal Athlete Training Center here in Cranston, Rhode Island. You know, a lot of people, and rightfully so, a lot of people think when they see Primal Athlete Training Center that we're just a small, kind of hardcore training studio for Rhode Island's top strength athletes, football players, track and field throwers, wrestlers. And while that's correct, and while that is a big part of what we do, another thing that we do here is private throws coaching and personal throws coaching for some of the top athletes here in the state. Right now we have a few of the top shot putters and a few of the top weight throwers in the state working here with us, getting some extra help on the weekends, getting some extra technique and training, you know, both with their throws, with their technique, and also here in the weight room, making sure that they're training properly to peak at the right times during the year. So keeping that in mind, we're doing something really special in accompany with the Rhode Island Interscholastic League and the Rhode Island Track and Field Foundation this year. And that is 2 free shot put clinics that are going to be happening at the new indoor track up at Central High School. These shot put clinics are going to be happening February 6th and February 13th. And they're going to go from 1 o'clock to 2:30 in the afternoon both days. Okay, you're going to be coached by me. You're going to have the opportunity to practice indoors, which is huge this time of year with all the snow on the ground. You're going to have the opportunity to use the circles that you're going to be using during your championship meets, freshman, state championship, junior varsity, and varsity state championship. Not only that, but you're going to have the chance to get an extra day of practice on a Sunday, okay, sort of as a tune-up to get you ready for those big meets at the end of the season. Now, leading up to that, okay, what we're going to ask you guys to do is to subscribe right up top here. Subscribe takes a couple seconds so that every couple days you're going to be getting a new video in your inbox from me outlining a common fault that I see with a lot of throwers here in the state. Could be about the weight throw, could be about shot put, discus, hammer, could be about, you know, kind of transfer from each one of those, and you can use it in each one of your throwing events. But common faults and the proper corrections to make in your throwing events. We're going to have it every couple days. You'll be getting a new video like this. We hope to have you guys sign up. We hope to have you guys come checking back in. And we especially hope to see you February 6th and February 13th at the new indoor track next to Central High School. Totally free clinic. Opportunity to get in, to get some great throws and some great technique work with one of the better coaches here in the state. Today what we're going to be talking about is a real common occurrence and a common problem that I see with shot put and discus throwers, and that is where the back foot, the foot that's up against the toe board, or the foot that's up right near the front of the circle, how that foot is positioned and where that foot is positioned, and how, if you just make one little adjustment, you will be able to get much more torque and much more push on the ball to get your throws out there and increase your PR by a few inches. One simple little technique work that not a lot of people know about. So it's a little inside secret coming from me right to you guys. Make sure to subscribe, hit that little button up top. Okay, subscribe to this channel, and you'll be getting a new tip and a new trick like this that you can practice every day in your inbox. We hope to see you guys at that clinic. I'm going to adjust the camera real quick shoot it down at my feet and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Now, we're going to explain a little bit what I mean about the position of the back foot, the position of the back leg when you get into your power position for the shot put and for the discus. Let me show you what I mean. Most coaches and most athletes have a pretty good understanding of what it means to get in a power position. You've got your power leg, so for me as a right-handed thrower, it's going to be my right leg. Right leg's going to be bent, and my weight is going to be back over that right leg. Okay? A great way to check this out, another extra little tip for you guys, is go to your track coach and get a stopwatch. Okay? Put the stopwatch around your neck. Now, when you stand there, you can see that your center of gravity is right in the middle of your body, right down your spine, right down your chest, the middle of your stomach. Okay? That's your center of gravity. When you get in a power position, you start to see that your center of gravity shifts over the power leg, over this back leg. And that's important because to get a real big throw, you need to shift your weight from behind your power leg all the way over the front of the toe board, all the way over the front of the circle. Okay? Now, in order to get your weight as far back as possible, this is where that little tip comes in about the back foot. Check this out. Get down in a power position. Most people, both of their feet, okay, both feet are going to be facing out around 3 o'clock. Right now, both feet are going to be facing the camera. As you turn and your weight starts to come over your back leg, unless you're Gumby, unless you're the most flexible person on earth, you're never going to be able to get all the way back. Okay? You can get your weight over the foot perfectly fine. But as you can see, my shoulders are still open. I'm still facing, my head and my nose are facing that 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock position, and they're not all the way back. All you have to do is turn this back foot and get up on your toe. Let me show you what I mean. Watch what happens to my shoulders. Watch what happens to the center of gravity. And watch what happens to that shot put as I turn the back foot. Power position, okay, weight is as far over that leg as it can go. What we're going to do is we're going to turn the foot, and as we turn the foot, our shoulders turn all the way to the back of the circle, the head is all the way to the back of the circle, and the hips are closed all the way. Okay? Now what that means is we've added about an extra 1.5 feet onto the amount of time we're pushing that ball. So let me show you. Regular position, okay? Power position with both feet flat on the ground, facing you guys. We're going to start from here, and we're going to push. By getting up on that back foot, power position, now we're up on the back foot. Okay? Now instead of pushing from here and going, now we're going to go all the way from back here. So as we turn the feet, now we have all this weight behind us. Pushing, 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 boom! Big throw. Weight is going all the way from the back, all the way over the toe board. So we're seeing a huge shift in weight. Okay? We're seeing all your center of gravity go from all the way back here, all the way out the front of that circle. That's going to add inches onto your throw instantly. Okay? Now, you can really exaggerate, you can really see this with the discus. Let me show you what I mean. Discus and shot have the same power position. Okay? It's a little bit bigger in a circle, your feet are a little bit wider, but everything else is exactly the same. Okay? In discus, if both of our feet were flat on the ground, and we were in that power position, because I'm not Gumby, none of us are the most flexible human being in the world. When that discus is back, the discus can only really face about that 2 o'clock position, which means when we throw starting here. By getting up on that back foot, now look what happens to the discus. Now the discus is all the way back around 4 o'clock. Okay, now our hips are squared all the way back, and now, shoulders are squared all the way back, and the hips are totally closed. Now, instead of throwing from here. Now we throw from all the way back here. All that extra distance, all that extra torque, and all that extra speed onto that discus as we let it go. Okay? That one little tip is something that you guys can do at practice tomorrow to add inches onto your throw at your next track meet. Okay? If you guys have any questions down below, please drop a comment into our comment box. If you guys have a really good question, if it's something that really pertains to the shot put and to a real common problem that athletes around the state are having, we're going to answer that for our next video. So make sure to drop a comment down below. We'll get to them at our next video. This is exactly what you guys can expect to see February 6th and February 13th at the new indoor track up at Central High School. Clinic is 100% totally free and open to all Rhode Island Interscholastic League athletes and their coaches. We hope to see you guys there. Hey everybody, it's Coach Matt again over here at Primal Athlete Training Center in Cranston. Coming to you today with our second video on common faults and corrections and little tips and tricks on how to fix parts of your shot put, discus, hammer, weight, javelin throw. A couple times a week we're going to be putting these videos out there. Alright, so make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. You get an email in your inbox a couple times a week with a new video, something you can take out to practice with you tomorrow and instantly improve your throws. Now before we get into it today, we want to make sure to keep reminding you guys, Sunday, February 6th and Sunday, February 13th, from 1 o'clock to 2:30 in the afternoon, we're going to be hosting a free shot put clinic, which is going to be happening at the new indoor track facility up next to Central High School. Now this is the same place where you guys are going to be having your freshman, your JV, and your varsity state championship. Same place that you guys are going to be having your class championship, your division championship. All the big meets are going to be held here. It's a chance for you guys to get used to the facility. It's a chance for you guys to get in the circles and actually practice with the circles you're going to use during those meets. And it's a chance to get in some extra coaching indoors during the winter time. Now it's Wednesday. It's going to snow out like crazy. It already started. We're here at the gym getting things done. Tip for you today has to deal with the angle that you release the shot put and the angle that you release your discus. And just like last time, it has to deal with your left side. Remember in last video that we talked about, when we got to that proper power position with the shot put, okay, both feet weren't facing 9 o'clock. This back foot is up on the toe. And when you get up on the toe, your shoulders go all the way to the back of the circle, and your hips close up all the way. What we're doing today is, now that we're up on that toe, you notice what you see is that left leg is straight. My left leg's not bent. I'm not hunched over. I'm not coiled up like a snake ready to strike. Nice and lean, nice and long, and what you see is a straight line from my head down to my shoulders, down my back, all the way down to my foot. And this is, believe it or not, is going to give us the proper angle of release to get the right loft and to get the right launch on the shot put and on the discus every time. Let me show you what I mean. We're in the proper power position. We're up on the toe. Our shoulders are all the way back. From here, we work from the ground up. We turn the feet. The knee starts to turn. We extend that knee. We snap the hips. We pull through and fire that shot put. Now notice what happened. The left leg stayed completely straight. Okay, keep it as straight as you can. No one's going to be able to keep it perfectly straight when you come out of that glide or when you come out of that spin in the discus. But watch this. Keep that leg as straight as possible. And as your feet turn, what happens? That straight leg and this bent leg are telling you the exact angle to push that ball. So we're not falling forward, and pushing over our head. What we're doing is using our legs to turn the feet in this proper angle, still a straight line from the foot all the way up to the head. That's the proper angle that we're going to be pushing at. Okay? The mistake I see with a lot of athletes here in this state is when you come out of your glide and you land in the power position, a lot of times I see this left leg bent, this back leg is bent. And what that will do is, as the athlete turns, they open up their legs, and when they go to throw, they either throw a line drive, okay? They try to put it over their head using their shoulder, or what I see a lot of times, the athlete will turn with a bent leg and jump straight up in the air and throw. Okay, what we want to do is keep this left leg nice and straight as we can. That way when we turn, we're automatically putting our body at the proper angle to push that ball, to release that ball. Hopefully you guys can see that on the video. Now discus, it's the same exact thing. You're in the power position, your hips are closed all the way, discus is all the way back, and what we're going to see is, as the feet turn, if you keep that left leg nice and straight, what's going to happen? The hips are going to come all the way around, discus is going to go nice and straight, and you're already giving it that proper angle to throw that discus. Now why is this so important? Well, number one, as we already said, it gives you the right angle to throw. But number two, we're pushing, because our body's in the right position, and we're not throwing over our head or from behind our ears, what's happening is, now we're able to use the big muscles of the body to push. We're able to use our legs, our hips, our butt, our chest, and our back. If we didn't, if we had that bent leg and tried to release it, we'd be using our calves and our shoulders, two smaller muscle groups, to push that ball or to throw that discus. By keeping that proper angle, now we're using all the big strong muscles, legs, hips, butt, back, and chest, to push the ball and throw that disc. Okay guys, if there's any questions, all my information will be right down below. Remember, February 6th and February 13th, you get an hour and a half each day of faults and corrections and tips just like this, using the same circle you're going to use during your championship meets at the end of the year, indoors, so you get out of this weather, and it's on a Sunday, so it doesn't interfere with your regular practices or meets. You get that extra day of practice during the week. We hope to see you there. Hey everybody, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, coming to you with our third video in our throwing series, having to deal with common faults and corrections with the throwing events in the sport of track and field. Now before we get into today's video, we want to remind you guys about our free Shotput clinics that are happening February 6th and February 13th up at the new indoor track at Central High School in Providence. These are 100% completely free. They go on both Sundays from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. Alright, we hope to see you all there. It's a fantastic opportunity to get indoors out of this really bad New England weather we have going on right now. It's a great opportunity for you guys to actually use the circle and use the equipment that you're going to be using during all the big championship meets at the end of the year. And because it's on a Sunday, it doesn't interfere with anyone's meets, and it doesn't interfere with anyone's practice schedules that their coach has for them during the week. It's an extra day for you guys to come up, get in some work, and get some good coaching from a great throws coach. Now, today's video has to deal with a very common fault that I see with a lot of throwers. Okay? And that fault has to deal with the shot put and the discus going down the right sector line and having a sector fall. Basically, the shot put and the discus going way off to the right and falling outside of that right sector line. Now that's the issue. The reason for that is because the hips and the shoulders never come all the way around so that the shot and the discus can follow through right down the middle of that throwing sector. And just like in video 1 and just like in video 2, the reason why has to deal with the feet. In the first video we showed you how by getting up on that back toe you're able to get your hips and you're able to get your shoulders all the way around to the back of the circle. Well, just like your feet allow your shoulders to come all the way to the back of the circle, your feet also allow your hips and shoulders to go all the way out the front of the circle. The way that we correct that fall has to do with the feet turning forward before anything else in our body. Okay? When we come out of that proper power position, we work from the ground up. Let me show you what I mean by that. You're in the proper power position. Okay, you're up on the back toe, left leg is as straight as it can be, all your weight is over that power leg. For right-handed throwers, that's your right leg. Your hips are all the way back, your shoulders are all the way back, and you can check that by just picking up this left leg. All my weight's on the right side. Now, to come out of that power position, the first thing we do is we turn our feet. We turn our feet all the way around. As we turn our feet, the knee comes in. We then extend the knee and we squeeze our glutes. We squeeze our butt. As we squeeze the butt, the hips pop up. As the hips pop up, our shoulders are pointing right down the middle of that throwing sector. We pull in with the left side and have a big finish with the right side, right down the middle. Now, the reason why a lot of the throws go down the right sector line is because the feet aren't turning. Let me show you what I mean. You can be in the absolute textbook, picture-perfect power position, all the way down the right side, up on that left toe, left leg straight. Everything is perfect. But if you don't turn these feet, watch what happens to my hips and my shoulders. If you don't turn the feet and you just explode with the knee, and then you explode with the hip, look where my hips and look where my shoulders are going to be pointing. Down the right sector line. And because the hips are pointing down the right sector line, the shoulders are pointing down the right sector line, where do you think the shot and where do you think the discus is going to go? Right down the sector line. So how we correct that is by turning the feet. We work from the ground up. We hit every major joint from the ground up. We turn the feet. We extend the knee. We snap the hips. And we push with the right side. Feet, knee, hip, shoulders, push. We work from the ground up. Now I'm going to show you guys a real neat trick that you can do at home and at practice to really work on this and emphasize turning those feet. All you need is an empty water bottle and the cap. So here we go. We have empty water bottle and the cap. All we're going to do, we're going to put the cap on the ground near our blocking leg. For me, right-handed throwers into the left leg. We're going to put the bottle near the power leg. We're going to put our toe up against the bottle and the other toe right in front of the cap. And all we're going to do is we're going to kick the bottle and squish the cap. Okay, so we're going to turn our feet. We're going to kick the bottle and squish the cap. Let me show you again. Kick the bottle, squish the cap. Keep all the weight back. Kick the bottle, squish the cap. Now, as you speed it up, you're going to be able to kick that bottle really far. What you're going to notice is, as you kick the bottle, the knee automatically wants to extend. The hips automatically want to come forward, and your shoulders automatically want to get squared and point right down the sector. Something you guys can try at home It's going to correct that issue that you might be having with the shot and with the discus going down that right sector line. If you guys like these tips, please keep checking back in, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and more than anything, we want to see you February 6th and February 13th at the new indoor track up in Providence next to Central High School, 1 o'clock to 2:30. That's 3 hours total between the 2 days. 100% free throws coaching in the place that you're going to have all your championship meets. You couldn't ask for anything more than that, and it's 100% free. If you guys want any type of training, if you guys want any type of coaching, you can inquire about that on my website, which is www.primalatc.com, primalathletetrainingcenter.com. We hope to see you guys there, and I hope to hear from you soon.